to say thanks again to all of the parents. They put a lot of time and effort into this play, and without them, we couldn't have done this. Our crew is 5 people who have come every day, put a lot of work into the play. They have to memorize the set design, do a bunch of stuff. Our stage manager is Michael Guerrero. Michael Smith is backstage and lights. Margarita Gonzalez and Nicola Trevis are our prompters. Philip Acosta has worked backstage. Kendall Hawkins is in the back with the spotlight. And the 2 girls selling tickets were Emily Matthews and Kelly Yonich. And let's give one more round of applause to our stage crew.
Don't you know who he is?
Probably a representative from the insurance company.
He's a private investigator. I don't want to see him. He put me behind bars 2 years ago. He's a devil at home. It's him.
Keep calm. We don't have anything to worry about.
All right.
Shall I fit the gentleman? Of course. Find out what he... I'll be upstairs. Won't you come in, sir?
Thank you.
Won't you sit down, sir?
Thank you.
Whom do you wish to see, sir?
Take my card to Miss Alice Faulkner, please.
Miss Faulkner doesn't see anyone. She's not well, Holmes.
Fresh fingerprints. Not more than a few moments old. Particle of coal dust clinging to the dial.
Oh, my. Who are you?
No need for alarm. My name is Holmes. Sherlock Holmes.
Not the Sherlock Holmes, the famous young detective.
Actually, I'm a consulting detective. I assist the police with their more difficult cases. Who's been at this safe?
How should I know, Mr. Holmes?
There's only one man in London who roams at hotels favored by Coleman, who's also a master of safecracking. Sid Prince.
Sid Prince? Never heard of him.
Nevertheless, I suspect he's somewhere about. Please fetch him.
I'll try, sir.
Try the front. Probably watching the house.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Holmes?
You are Miss Alice Faulkner?
I'm in for help, Mr. Holmes.
You are Miss Alice. Miss Faulkner, you've been dealing with a reputable insurance firm regarding certain letters.
That is my business, Mr. Holmes.
Incorrect. That is my business. The insurance firm is engaged in my services.
You wish me to set a price?
I wish to speak with Miss Alice Faulkner.
And so you are.
Do not try my patience, Madge Larrabee. I happen to know you and your husband are keeping Miss Faulkner prisoner in this house. Unless you produce her at once, I shall inform the police. I happen to know the authorities in France are quite anxious to learn your whereabouts.
James, bring her in here. Hurry. You're a clever man, Sherlock Holmes.
Clever? I am not clever, Madge. I am brilliant. The sooner the criminal class knows this, the sooner London will sleep in peace.
Let me go, you thief! Over there with her.
Who's he?
A detective. He's working for the insurance people.
Do not...
Reaching for my pipe.
You have been mistreating this girl. There are marks on her wrist.
I wouldn't tell him anything if I was you, Alice. All he wants is your precious letters.
Do you wish to lodge a complaint against these people?
I will handle this matter my own way.
I implore you, Miss Faulkner. There's no telling the damage you will cause if you release the contents of your letters.
What do I care for damage? I'm only interested in one thing. Money.
The insurance firm will pay you a fair price.
I am not interested in a fair price. You may tell your employers there's cost about...
Quick, there's a fire below us there. Smoke's coming out of the kitchen window.
Fire?
Where the devil's forming?
Don't let it spread! Why don't you help them?
Because I have the matter under control. When a woman thinks her house is on fire, her first instinct is to reach for the things she values the most. A married woman reaches for a vanity, an unmarried one full of jewelry. Or in this case, letters.
I am undone.
You are in the clutches of two villainous criminals, Miss Faulkner. My only wish is to help you.
You're clever.
Brilliant.
You have the letters. You've won.
I have the letters, true, but I have not won.
Only grease fire.
Foreman started it, tipped over a pot of water.
I cannot take these letters, Miss Faulkner, unless you turn them over voluntarily.
Why not?
That would be stealing.
You cannot have the letters.
In that case,
You're mad.
I'm not having Miss Faulkner's decision, if that's what you mean. I'd advise you to leave this house at once.
I am not afraid of them any longer, Mr. Holmes. If they attempt to seize these letters, I shall destroy them. Tear them to shreds, eat them, burn them, but destroy them I shall. There's no profit in ashes.
You are a remarkable young woman, Miss Faulkner.
I shall go to my room. Stand aside.
I trust you will not take this matter lightly. If any harm shall come to her, shall the two of you personally responsible. Be warned. No need to show me the door. I'll find my way out.
Just when everything was going so well.
What are we going to do?
All clear?
Not with that Holmes on to us.
And the letters?
He didn't get them.
I say we go upstairs, take the letters by force.
But what good would that do with Holmes on the stick? Besides, you heard her. She'll destroy them and not a penny for our trouble.
If Holmes is on the case and you need help, there's only one man you gotta see.
Who?
Moriarty.
Moriarty?
Professor Moriarty, the Napoleon of crime. He hates Holmes with the right passion. He'll get those letters to stop that snooper in his tracks.
Sounds good.
What are we waiting for?
Where to?
Where else? Professor.
Come on! Is this right? Is this fair? Is this noble? No! No!
Sometimes, mate.
Quiet!
I thought you asked for me opinion. 5 flowers, dearie. Only a penny.
I said the time has come for women to march on the House of Lords, the Commons, the Admiralty, and all other bastions of male supremacy. Hear, hear! Good job! We'll chain ourselves at the gates of the government house. We'll demand that Queen Victoria declare a national holiday to commemorate the injustices done to women by unequal laws and unjust men. If all else fails, we'll refuse to serve tea!
What's rubbish? You men ought to be locked up.
Boo!
What's the trouble here?
It's these spoiled self-defense, making a nuisance in the public streets.
What's the police are talking to now? Move along.
Oh!
Move along, I say. No trouble.
Votes for women! Votes for women! Give women the vote!
There you go, sir. Why is the summer night?
I trust so, officer. It isn't safe to walk the streets of London anymore.
Fear not. I'm here to protect the honest citizens.
What's wrong?
My necklace. Someone's stolen my necklace.
My wallet, it's gone.
It must have been the suffragettes. Quick, down to the next corner. I'll follow them. Stop!
I understand our contact in the Tottenham area has been holding out on us again.
These collections from your protecting society have fallen off by 2%.
I suspect that 2% has ended up in our contact's pocket. I believe we can dispense with his future services. Arrange for his body to be found in a mail sack, somewhere in the north of Scotland.
Yes, Professor.
What about the informant who was working undercover with Scotland Yard on the jewel heist?
Disposed of in the usual way. There will be no trace.
As usual.
One of your employees was overheard mentioning that he was a husband of Professor Moriarty's.
Professor Moriarty has no friend. Professor Moriarty is friend to no one. Have him attended to.
Yes, Professor.
Make sure his disappearance is noticed. Have it spoken of. Have the workers on the docks wonder whatever became of their mate. What they conjure in their imagination will be far worse than the truth.
You're a master of psychology, Professor.
Anything else?
3 of your dock workers come up for trial on Thursday next.
Thanks to young Sherlock Holmes.
He'll be the Crown Star witness.
Holmes has interfered with my plans once too often. I do not wish him to testify.
Will you deal with him in the usual way?
You surprise me, my dear Joan. Sherlock Holmes is not a usual human being. Therefore, he cannot be dealt with in the usual manner. But, Mrs. Bassett, admit it.
Yes, Professor. Professor, do you know Mrs. Bassett?
I respect the hall from various suffragette meetings held throughout the city.
Clarify respect. Not as good as our hall from the Tower of London.
Ah, Professor, a Tower of London job comes along once in a lifetime.
Perhaps next time I can arrange to steal the tower itself. Anyone out there?
Sid Prince.
Who?
Sid Prince, the safe cracker. Used him to open up the vault at the stock exchange.
I recall.
Any assignment for this evening, Professor?
I'll get word to you. It may be that I should require your special talents.
Oh.
Depends how a conversation with a certain private investigator. No trouble with the police?
My suffragettes are well trained, Professor. Whenever it looks as if the jig's up, we stage a minor riot. And when it's over, the onlookers have been relieved of their wallets, baubles, and beads.
If I had used you for previous assignments, 3 of my best men wouldn't be standing in the docks with Sherlock Holmes breathing down their necks.
But if women get the boat, it'll be the end of our masquerade.
I do not intend to see so valuable a gang as our suffragettes lose their cover. To this end, I'm working diligently to see that women do not receive the vote.
I understand.
You'll get your cut in the usual manner. Joe, admit Sid.
Yes, Professor.
It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Remember me, Professor?
You left traces of coal dust in the stock exchange.
I did.
What do you want?
I came across something that might interest.
Commence.
Seems this couple.
Names.
Madge James Larry.
They're wanted by the French police.
Why would you, Professor? Is there anything you don't know?
I don't know what you've come across that might interest me.
You met a young woman who has letters from Prince Bohemian in Oxford.
Prince of Bohemia. Where are the Larrabys?
Wait.
You brought them here? Here to my secret underground office? I charge for their beating. You better sit, Prince. Otherwise the Thames River will have you for an overnight guest. Joe, get the Larrabys.
Yes, Professor.
I want to go to home, Professor. You know that. You can trust it, Prince.
I trust no one. That is why I will never be defeated. What is this business you have with the Prince of Bohemia?
I don't know what you want to tell you. After all, this is our game, not yours.
Is it?
I'm not even certain I want to be here.
Silence!
There now. I don't like to be talked to like that.
Obviously, you do not understand whom you are speaking.
Don't anger the Professor.
I'm not afraid of him.
Better be, James Larrabee. Otherwise, you won't live another day. I have my methods.
Careful.
Sit down.
I was talking to Professor about the Prince Bohemia.
Can you help us?
Who is the young woman in the case?
Alice Faulkner. Stubborn. Her sister died in despair over the prince.
But not before the Prince wrote many love letters.
We planned to sell them to the insurance company.
Everything was going so fine. Then all of a sudden they called in Sherlock Holmes.
Name again.
Where are the letters now?
Alice has them on her person, but she threatens to destroy them if we make a move.
You know the contents of each letter?
Of course.
You can make forgeries.
We have in our employ an extremely clever forger.
Foreman by name.
But Holmes has seen the letters.
Only the small packet he returned to Alice. He didn't have time to look at the letters.
Type the counterfeit packet so it'll look exactly like the one Holmes held in his hand.
But why, Professor?
I have my method. I shall want the counterfeit package at 11 tonight.
It'll be ready.
I shall also require a little assistance from you both.
You haven't said nothing about the business arrangements?
Tonight, you shall have an opportunity to sell the counterfeit packet to Holmes for a good round sum. If you'll take 100%, then I nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing except a packet of real letters?
Careful, Jimmy boy. You make Professor angry, I tell you.
You were, I believe, Mr. Larrabee, acquainted with one Alf Waxman, a well-known blackmailer.
I know old Elf. Sure.
We all do.
Seen him around lately?
Not to mention it. No.
And you won't be seeing him. He displeased.
He won't crush you, Professor.
I hope not. I would hate to see you in widow's weeds.
We won't give you any problems. We'll get what we can from Holmes.
What about the packet of real letters?
The disposition of the packet of real letters is no concern of yours.
If you say.
Joe, the interview is over. Good day to you.
I was wondering, Professor, right over.
The interview's over!
Yes, sir. Whatever you say, sir. I was wondering.
Professor Moriarty here. Bring my cab around to the front. I journey to Baker Street.
To Sherlock Holmes?
Baker Street is his residence, I believe.
You will go there yourself?
I will go there myself. I will offer him peace or death. Either way, Moriarty wins.
You're a marvel, Professor. A human marvel.
Agitated state.
It's the neighborhood.
Baker Street is a perfectly respectable neighborhood. Almost too respectable for my standards.
Too respectable?
I know, my dear Watson, that you share my love for all that is bizarre and outside the ordinary routines of everyday life. Baker Street hardly qualifies as comfortable but routine.
You wouldn't think, sir, if you had to run the gauntlet Isaac did. Match sellers, ribbon hoppers, push carts, suffragettes. It's busier than the fish market at dawn.
Baker Street is not the best place for commerce. Therefore, I suspect the mat sellers, ribbon hawkers, suffragettes, and pushcart peddlers are not as they seem.
Talking riddles again.
I see you visit Lolly's bookstore within the hour. I wanted to secure your weekly copy of London Reviews.
How the devil did you deduce that?
These traces of red clay on your shoes. The workmen are excavating in front of Lolly's. This particular shade can only be found there. Also, the clay has not yet had time to dry.
Amazing.
This London Review is a large bound periodical that cannot fit in your medical bag. I can only surmise that they were sold out.
You astonish me, Holmes.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
I met a fan. Flower woman down the street. Good sort. Good admirer with pure excellence and my letter in south.
What is it, Mrs. Hudson?
There's a gentleman to see you.
That be Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard. He is not alone.
How did you know that?
It is of no importance. Please show the lady and gentleman in.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir. I do hate to mention it, but some of the neighbors are complaining about your target practice again.
Indeed?
I do wish you wouldn't use my rooms for that sort of thing. It ruins the wallpaper. Quite right, Straw, this woman?
Lestrade is merely acting as a police escort. The man is questioned none other than Prince OHenry himself, and the woman, Lady Edwina Hunter, a distant relative.
How can you be sure it's them?
I looked out my window and saw them arriving out of their carriage. Pray come in. Delighted to see you again, Lady Edwina. My colleague, Dr. John Watson.
Dr. Watson. Delighted. This is?
Softly. The walls have ears. Pray be seated.
We come directly from the insurance people. They tell us you've taken complete charge.
Correct.
What progress have you made, Mr. Holmes?
Minimal.
Considering your reputation, that's hardly encouraging. You disappoint me.
We'll pay you any sum.
My charges are upon a fixed scale. I do not vary them, except when I remit them altogether.
We're desperate.
Your Highness, did you love the sister of Miss Alice Faulkner?
That's all in the past. The future is now what matters.
I see no reason not to answer. I loved her deeply, Mr. Holmes. I would have married her.
Nonsense. You're too young to know your own mind. Infatuation. Nothing more.
Did she know of your true feelings?
Yes.
You say she knew of your affection, and that you would have married her. Hardly devoted for self-destruction.
I could never understand why she did it.
Curious. She had everything to live for.
What matters now are those letters in the wrong hands illegal.
I don't think we're followed.
No matter. It appears our time has been wasted. Mr. Holmes reports minimal progress.
I assure you, Lady Edwina, Holmes knows what it's about.
You'll forgive me if I do not share your enthusiasm. The stakes are too high for anything but positive results. I think we ought to return to the insurance company and register a complaint. I trust next time, Mr. Holmes, we shall have more than minimal progress.
Please forgive my aunt, Mr. Holmes. She's been under a terrible strain, and I can't bring myself to reprimand her.
I understand.
I'll be down in a moment, Your Highness. I want to work with Mr. Holmes. That Lady Edwina, she's a cold one.
Our motives are clear, so it's only to protect the family honor.
Being a bodyguard ain't my idea of ideal police work.
I have concern in her honor.
I have him to worry about in the heist of the Tower of London. How's about giving me a hand?
An audacious crime. Robbery at the Tower of London.
That'd make an excellent title. Sherlock Holmes, the robbery at the Tower of London.
Might be a story for your pen, Dr. Watson, but it's my job.
I assure you. As soon as the affair with the prince is over, the Tower have my full attention.
I'm obliged. Count on Lestrade.
Count on Lestrade. The man's his ghost. I doubt he could find himself in the lost and found upon him.
The Prince of Bohemia is a rather unique client.
You would consider the prince a mere client? Have you no compassion?
The client is but a mere unit, a factor in the problem. The emotional qualities are antagonistic to clear reasoning.
Sound of a calculating machine.
The plot thickens.
What?
Shh!
Smells of kidney pie. Something Mrs. Hudson's good English cooking.
Hardly. It's jasmine. Essence of jasmine.
Perfume?
Won't you come in, Miss Faulkner?
Bless me.
No need to hide the shadows. I'm sure Lestrade didn't see you.
How did you know it's me?
There are 75 perfumes, which a criminal expert must be able to distinguish from one another. At the Larrabees, you radiated the scent of jasmine.
Remarkable deduction.
Element.
Oh, where are your manners? Won't you sit down, my dear? I'm Dr. Watson.
Thank you. I'd like to speak with you privately.
Well, I'd like to be alone.
No need, old fellow. I'd like your opinion regarding this matter. You can speak openly in front of Watson.
As you wish, I've had to correct a false impression.
Indeed.
I told you my prime motive was for money. I do not want money.
You seek justice for your sister.
Justice? There is no justice. I seek punishment, revenge.
Revenge is not only sweet, it's soft and therapeutic.
I seek nothing for myself.
Why didn't you confront the prince outside the house?
That wouldn't prove anything. I want the world to know his disgrace, his cruelty.
Cruelty? The prince impressed me as a rather pleasant young man.
Watson, please.
Sorry.
This is all you came here to tell me?
Why didn't you see the letters when you had the opportunity?
Because I am a detective second and a gentleman first.
I see. I'll take no more of your time.
I could have Mrs. Hudson serve tea. She's famous for her cucumber sandwiches.
No, thank you, Dr. Watson. I've already imposed.
You're still at the Larrabees?
I've made arrangements to move to a hotel, modest but fashionable.
Wise.
Good day, Sherlock Holmes.
Miss Faulkner.
Lovely creature.
My method seldom fail. She's taking the bait.
Bait?
She will never turn those letters over to me unless I have complete trust. I am winning that trust.
She seemed charming. Sir, quite charming.
I assure you, Dr. Watson, the most winning woman I've ever known was hanged for poisoning 3 children for their insurance money.
You don't like Miss Faulkner?
To like a woman is the first step towards loving a woman. Love is an emotional thing.
I hope so.
Careful.
Mr. Holmes?
Easy, Watson. It's the Larrabee's maid.
What are you doing coming in like that? It's most irregular.
Foreman said no one would see me coming through the front door.
Foreman?
My man at Larrabee's. Undercover agent.
Oh, I'm so nervous. What if somebody saw me? They'd think I was some criminal.
Compose yourself. Sit down. Give me the message.
Foreman says they've got him making bundles of forgeries.
They? You mean the Larrabees?
Yes, they're forging Miss Faulkner's letters.
I take it you understand the seriousness of this business?
Yes, he is enlisted as my aide. I'm your ally, Mr. Holmes.
Good show.
Poor Miss Faulkner. They told me she was demented. I'm quitting at once.
No, no. You mustn't do that.
No?
Tell Miss Faulkner that I propose to buy the false letters. That you overheard the foreman discussing them out of the Larrabees.
Whatever you say.
But do not tell her that I know the letters are counterfeit.
But why?
If you shall work with me in the future, I shall demand complete fidelity to my orders.
In other words, my dear, he doesn't want you asking any questions.
You do wish to help Miss Faulkner.
Oh, yes.
The foreman is right. You mustn't be seen. I suspect the house is being watched.
Watch.
Careful on your way out.
I find detective work to be exciting, Mr. Holmes.
I was afraid of that. Off you go.
Yes, sir.
Holmes, this apartment has more traffic than Victoria Station.
The game's afoot.
I wish you'd talk so I could understand you.
Do come in, Mrs. Hudson.
The match girl just brought news from my sister, Mr. Holmes. One with the headaches.
Match girl?
No, my sister. I'll have to go to her at once. No telling when I'll be back.
Watson and I can manage.
Can I be of any help?
I don't think so, Dr. Watson. It's a nurse more than anything. I'll brew her some nice roasted tea.
We'll be quite all right.
There's cold liver on ice in case you're hungry.
Cold liver? I could have sworn it was kidney pie.
I'm expecting a visitor any moment. He will not enter this building until he is certain that I'm quite alone. Go after Mrs. Hudson. Pretend to escort her to the tram. Then double back to this house at once. Do not enter unless you hear me shout out or a gunshot disturbs the calm.
But Holmes,
No time to argue. Hurry, do as I ask.
what's all the mystery? You never tell me a thing. People are popping in and out.
Flowers, flowers, only a penny, who wants one? Flowers, flowers, only a penny, who wants one?
Won't you come in, Professor? I find the violin relaxing me. Hand me my violin, I can forget in half an hour the miserable weather and the even more miserable ways of our filament.
I find the same solace in higher mathematics. Are you saving it for a client?
Make yourself comfortable.
You're not surprised to see me.
Hardly. Your suffragettes have been gathering in the byways of Baker Street for the past hour.
You know about my secret. Of course, I would expect no less of the great Sherlock Holmes.
You flatter me.
I've never underestimated these Holmes. We're both connoisseurs. We've been fencing for years. The pond grows smaller and smaller, while we grow together like a couple of greedy old pirates. Either I finish you, or you finish me, or we choke on each other. Either way, one of us has to go.
I take it you have a proposal?
Join with me, Holmes, in an alliance.
An unholy alliance.
I may yet tempt you.
Jewels from the Tower of London. Loot from robberies. Stock manipulations. You disappoint me, Professor.
You and I both know what is most desired. Power! Soon I will have enough power to create the greatest crime of all time. World war! Nations will grovel at my feet. Millions will be made. Millions with which to buy more power. Kings, presidents, emperors will be humbled. Think of it, Holmes. What a glorious spectacle. The world in flames.
I would never let this happen.
If you do not agree to join with me, then give me your assurance that you will never again hinder my plan.
And if I give no such assurance,
Destruction.
if I were assured of your destruction, I would, in the interest of the public, cheerfully set my own.
I shall miss you, Holmes.
The Strawdon's men are already gathering up as many as you can in the byways of Baker Street. I feel I'll deprive you of that pleasure.
They'll come here next?
No. I don't know how you plan to put your grand illusion into effect, but you must be free to move about, so I can hound you and discover your plot.
You've chosen not only to reject my proposal, but to do so with irritating smugness. This cannot be allowed to pass. You win the first round, young Sherlock Holmes, but the second will fall to me. I have my methods, and you have been warned.
Against the foot, Moriarty. I will not see sleep, but you are behind bars, your plans are ruined. You have been warned.
And everybody fell in pumps and matches. Sign your baffles.
House of Commons denies petition to give votes to women. Suffragettes riot outside British Museum.
Ladies, score. I'm in balance. This is not very automatic. And everybody fell in pumps and matches. Come and possessing violence until a cop takes a fee. We all about it.
When is she going to get here?
Never you mind about Mrs. Bassett. She knows what she's about.
I hope the Bobs can catch you outside the British Museum. What time that was?
All them fancy ladies and gentlemen watching our suffragette ride never realized they was getting their pockets picked for the pretty jewels.
Sebastian's estimating for happening first Monday.
Half? All.
Oh, here she comes. Both here? Good.
You look all done in.
It's the professor. He's in a strange way.
How so?
Very preoccupied, my dear. Very preoccupied.
What's the game tonight?
Can't say for sure, but if we're using this warehouse again, so close to the Plumstead marshes, my guess is we play the game of murder.
If the professor doesn't stop dropping things in water, it's gonna clog the sewers.
Careful, someone's coming.
Professor Moriarty, you in here?
No one in here but us suffragette mice, Mr. Prince.
You heard me after this, Mrs. Bassett. You heard it great.
Sit down.
Bassett.
Weren't seen, were you?
I thought the fight.
No!
Now what?
You might throw the match on the floor.
What of it?
Rubber gas lines. They're old. They leak.
Now that you mention it, you can't hold the gas.
Dangerous stuff. Deadly.
You might say we're in a gas chamber, so no matches.
Amen to that.
Who's that?
Should be gas house Gertie.
It's her. Can't mistake that one.
Greetings, want it off?
Did you bring it?
Of course I did. What in the finest food.
Let's see it.
What is that? It's a bomb, dearie. Ain't it lovely?
Ain't sort of too much to part of my Christmas stocking.
What's the professor gonna do with that?
Who's it for?
Oh, a good time.
Was he there all the time, Professor?
I shall be brief.
It's been fine. It's piece of work, Professor.
It had better be gas house, Gertie, or
For?
the trap door beneath my shoe drops into the slimy marsh.
You can trust me workmanship, Professor.
I stand on the product.
Trust? That is no word to use, Moriarty. Timing?
5 minutes leeway once it's set.
You won't be able to stop Holmes up with the blotter.
Precisely.
Who's it to be, Professor?
Young Sherlock Holmes.
Piss a big fish, that one.
Oh, Bill, ever get hopes up?
Who's that?
According to my schedule, it will be Mr. James Laird.
Had a devil of a time finding the place.
Legally, stand ready for when you're needed.
This way.
Did you send the message to Holmes as ordered?
I did. Telling him to meet here at midnight. Will he come?
Of course he will. He must produce those letters with some irreparable damage to his reputation. Holmes has one fault that will trip him.
What's that?
Fanny, once you've told the letters, it's 3 short whistles.
3? I can manage 1 to 3. That takes talent.
Who's this?
Thank you, Professor.
Beg
pardon.
Miss Bassett will know what to do.
Sid! You're here, Professor.
If you see Holmes approaching, give a bird call.
Bird call?
I'm your man, Professor. Good luck, Larrabee.
What if he brings the police? Creepy old warehouse. Sorry if I got mixed up in all this. That Professor Moriarty was spooky for my taste. Huh? Holmes! You!
What is this place? Smells of a gas leak.
Delicate thing, aren't you, Alice? At the moment, it's my place of business. How'd you get here?
I followed you in a cab.
You gonna inform the police?
I know a drug too. That concerns you. You're going to sell counterfeit letters to Mr. Holmes. Or try to.
You gonna warn them?
I will not let him swindle and deceive.
How do you plan to stop me?
I can buy you off.
Why should you be protected of Sherlock Holmes?
That is my affair.
An affair of the heart, maybe. You've placed yourself in danger coming here. How much did you give?
The real letters.
Have you got them with you?
No, but I can get them.
You think he's your friend, don't you? He's not. Otherwise, he wouldn't be coming here to buy the letters.
Fake letters.
He doesn't know that.
Before he buys any letters, he asks for you.
He won't give a chance.
What's that for?
You'll see.
What villainy is this?
Tie her up and gag her.
No, no, no!
Don't struggle, dear. It'll make me irritating.
Wait, I'll tell you what your letters are.
Don't trust her.
Just promise not to go on with this.
Hey, don't mind. Holmes will be here in a second.
Come on. No, no, please. Have you no shame?
Can't afford it.
You do as the professor says. There won't be any problem.
Make sure she can't cry out.
We know our business, Mr. Larrabee.
Finished?
Neat and tidy.
Nice scheme. All falling to pieces. Has to be Holmes.
I wish I could understand why the criminal elements so favor these plum-stained marshes.
West Indian ducks are too public.
Water rats favor these marshes. Perhaps that's the connection.
Never shy with an insult, are you, Mr. Holmes?
Now where both are concerned,
Got my message, I see?
obviously,
I picked this place because of its neutral territory.
rubbish. It's one of Moriarty's caves. I've been here on other occasions dealing with riffraff.
Moriarty? Never heard of him.
As a liar, you're a rank amateur, Mr. Larrabee.
I tell you, never heard of Moriarty.
I'm here to discuss letters.
They're sitting right in front of you.
Miss Faulkner's consent to this sale? On the contrary, I believe Miss Faulkner knows nothing of this affair. So let us omit her name from our discussion.
What makes you think she's in the dark?
Your every look, tone, gesture,
You think you could read me like a book?
a children's book. Get on with it.
How much would you give?
1,000 pounds.
5.
I have brought the sum with me.
I tell you, it won't take less than 5.
My time is quite limited, as yours. If you desire to sell this figure, advise me at once. Otherwise, I shall bid you a good evening.
Will you give me 2?
1.
Well, why quibble? 1,000 pounds it is.
My letters.
Paid for and delivered.
Now I've got you, Larrabee. You'll get 10 years for robbery.
Robbery?
These letters.
You don't even have a witness.
Miss Faulkner herself. I saw her enter this warehouse, and intermingled with the odor of escaping gases, the unmistakable scent of jasmine. Where have you hidden her?
Hey, don't mind. It's them water rats.
When you're behind bars, the professor will have lost one more incompetent crook.
Think so?
A whistle? Bit theatrical, isn't it?
Now who's got the upper hand?
I warn you, my hands and feet are deadly weapons. I learned uncommon fighting techniques in the Orient.
All talk. We got her pinned down.
We'll play it safe. Bring out the girl. Give us any trouble, Mr. Holmes, and the girl goes first.
They can't be trusted, Mr. Holmes.
Can't be trusted, Mr. Holmes.
I recognize the lot. Mrs. Bass and our gang of counterfeit suffragettes. Sid Prince and the destructive gas house Gertie.
What are you waiting for? Tie him up.
It's not difficult to imagine who's at the bottom of all this.
He knows about the professor. No matter, the professor's dead. He gave me a message for you.
Indeed.
He presented his kindest compliments and wished you a pleasant journey.
Journey? What is she talking about, Mr. Holmes?
A pleasant journey to the other side.
He had me whip up a little bon voyage gift. Ain't it pretty?
It's a bomb.
Oh, I hope so, dear. That's what it's supposed to be. 5 minutes? I'll set the timer. Just like boiling an egg.
Come on, let's get out of here.
The rope's tight.
Can't twist their arms out of those arms.
We're doomed.
Courage, Miss Faulkner. Courage.
You could all stay and chit-chat if you want. I'm traveling.
I'm with you, Sid. Glad to see the last of you, Sherlock Holmes. The great detective, blown to bits in Plumstead marshes. Ha, ha, ha.
Who is the professor they speak of?
The most evil man in London. I suspect, Miss Faulkner, that he wishes the marriage to take place. That is why he's taken an interest in the letters.
I don't understand. 4 minutes.
If the marriage takes place, he can then produce the letters proving that Prince Carl made under a cloud, that he employed deception.
Go on.
This affronted the honor of the Russian royal family with the man's satisfaction.
Satisfaction.
War.
War. 3 minutes.
The professor would then be in a position of unbelievable power. He controls the music cartel. That is a shame. Count on him.
Incredible.
Miss Faulkner, your poor sister met her demise not as you believe, but at the hands of a hired assassin.
I believe that. 2.5 minutes.
I know Moriarty's methods.
Our fellows will soon be going out together. I feel I hardly know you. You are here, soon, because of me. I can't help but be responsible.
These things happen.
It's all music out of the case.
When Moriarty's involved, matters demand my presence. 2 minutes.
This is goodbye.
Nonsense. I shall free myself of these bonds and escape.
How?
In Tibet, I studied the thought concentration of the holy monks. They had the amazing power to shrink their hands to intense meditation.
Meditation, you haven't told.
Hum.
Hurry, I'll hurry, please, Mr. Holmes. 90 seconds. Hurry. Too late.
Never.
Thank heaven.
It's only an elation. Proper breathing is a great move to mankind. It's a pity so few men and women know how to breathe properly. That, and concentration, of course.
Do you think you can hurry along, Mr. Holmes?
Meditation never fails.
I'll have to try it in time, but not now.
You're a brave young woman, Miss Faulkner.
At the moment, I'm a frightened young woman. We must escape.
After you, Miss Faulkner.
There are only seconds left.
41 to be precise.
a lot of coaches who come here hoping to see him.
Mr. Glimpse is all I wanted. Are you sure he's not here?
My dear young woman, I've already told you that Holmes is not here, and I'm not in the habit of lying.
I didn't mean to appear rude. It's a Miss Baskerville, Dr. Watson.
Baskerville. Baskerville?
This way. I won't take any more of your time.
Do sit down, miss. Silly creature, that Miss Gibbs. I'm thinking about it. Now, what seems to be the trouble?
I'm desperate for help. You must tell me Sherlock Holmes for her.
I have no idea. Perhaps I can assist.
Well, my uncle was recently killed by a gigantic ghost town.
A what?
A ghost town, did you say?
On the moors outside the manor house. The villagers say it's a family curse. It's the head of the Baskervilles.
Good gracious. Doesn't sound like a proper English ghost at all.
My brother, Sir Henry, is an next in line for the inheritance. I must speak with Sherlock Holmes.
There.
My brother's the next to die. I know it. I'm so frightened.
Come along with me, child. Nice cup of hot tea from my kitchen fire will do you wonders.
Excellent idea. When you've had your tea, perhaps Holmes will return. Gigantic ghost town? What next? Holmes, look at devil!
We're alone?
Of course we're alone. What are you doing coming in like that?
I wanted to make certain Moriarty saw me.
Why didn't you come in the front way?
There has to be a certain mystery regarding my return to Baker Street. See, he means to kill me.
You mean in here?
He missed his chance at the Plumstead Marshes,
Were you mixed up in that?
in a fashion. Any unusual visitors this morning?
Some poor girl complaining about a dog.
Dog?
And a patient who called herself Lily, yes. Well, she did look suspiciously like that description you gave me of Madge, clarity.
Excellent. Undoubtedly here to see if I've gone into hiding. The not cross hiding. Mrs. Hudson!
Now, what about this letter business?
I've sent word for Lady and Three in Prince Corner meeting within the hour.
Moriarty on the brow.
What better time?
Mr. Holmes, I didn't hear you come in.
That is what you may expect to hear when I do not wish to be heard.
Huh?
Mrs. Hudson, be so kind as to face the cabbie on the corner.
Cabs don't wait on the corner, Mr. Holmes. Not enough business for them.
I believe you'll find one there this morning. Tell the cabbie you have a tenant who wishes to go to the following address. 106 Harley Lane.
Who's going out?
I am.
But you just came in.
Do hurry, Mrs. Hudson.
Yes, sir, right away, sir.
106 Harley Lane? Well, that's the address of the insurance firm that hired you.
Correct.
You're going out there with everybody coming in here?
Correct again. Hello, what's this?
Medical supplies I delivered.
Might do. It's heavy.
Might do for what?
Stop asking so many questions and give a hand.
You're going to leave it there?
Curious.
What?
That he's here so soon.
Who?
No, those aren't the footsteps. Jasmine,
I forgive me for coming here against your instructions.
you're a woman of strong will, Miss Faulkner.
You wouldn't allow me to thank you last evening.
I expect no thanks, but I told you I'd enforce this business meeting here within the hour. Shh!
What is it?
Quick, Miss Faulkner, play patient. Keep your back to the visitor.
What visitor?
Watson, I rely on you.
Hurry, my dear, hurry!
Cab?
Ah, there you are, my good man. I wish to go to 106 Harley Lane, and then to Victoria Station. You have trouble with that chest. It's heavy.
I can manage.
How much? How these digits?
They give me no relief.
I just first
A fortnight ago.
Perhaps I should give a hand.
I know.
Maybe I should unload some of the contents. I wouldn't want anything to break in transit. Stop! Now I've got you.
Mr. Holmes, what's happening? Watchman hangs from the cabman.
Cabman, no, Miss Faulkner. I give you the offer of all the evil that has transpired. Professor Moriarty.
I may swear. Steady, my dear, I'm here.
Now is the time, Mr. Strong.
Coming, Mr. Holmes.
I'm sorry you didn't have the opportunity to finish me off.
That makes two of us.
I doubt if I would have ever reached Victoria Station.
So do I.
Went like clockwork, eh, Holmes?
Here's your man. Oh, permit me to introduce the Larrabee's butler, Professor. He's one of my agents.
Matter must be busy thanks to you, Mr. Holmes.
As you always do. Have you apprehended Madge Larrabee?
Yes, and her husband too.
Splendid. Not only shall I have the pleasure of testifying against your men, but against you as well.
I curse you!
I, Professor, return the compliment. Take him away.
What'll they do with him?
The gallows, I trust. Pray, come in.
Who were those men, Mr. Holmes?
Two are reasonably respectable citizens. The evil-looking one was a minor criminal.
Minor criminal? That was Professor Moriarty himself.
We have more important matters to discuss.
More important than Moriarty.
Pray, be seated.
I prefer to stand.
Could we get on with it?
At once.
Do you or do you not have the letter?
I have them. At a cost of 1,000 pounds.
What are you up to, Mr. Holmes?
What's wrong, Carl?
These are not the letters.
What?
They're forgeries. Cleverly done, but forgeries, nevertheless.
Are you certain?
Mr. Holmes, in spite of your supposed cleverness, they have tricked you.
You've disappointed Queen Victoria.
Moriarty's won. I'm ruined.
Surely this doesn't mean that you may not recover the real letter.
I'm afraid it does.
The prince puts such trust in you.
The insurance people told me I could count on
Do you have any idea what this will do to international affairs?
it. This will be a slap in the face of your reputation.
I am ruined. Ruined.
You are not ruined.
Your Highness, I informed you that letters would be in your hands within the hour.
Well? Well? Carl, are they genuine?
Yes, quite genuine. Your reputation is secure, Mr. Holmes.
But what about the other letters? The forgeries?
Holmes' methods are unorthodox.
If you say so, Dr. Watson. But I don't really understand.
What matters now is we have the real letters.
True.
I'm sure you'll appreciate the strain Mr. Holmes has been under.
Naturally. We shall inform the insurance company of our complete satisfaction.
You're too kind.
You've been invaluable, Mr. Holmes.
I'll show you out.
You knew the letters you purchased from Larrabee's were counterfeit.
Yes,
When you told me it's important business, you knew I'd come here.
I hoped you would.
You knew I could never allow you to be disgraced.
I'm a clever trickster, Miss Faulkner. But before you say another word, I detect hints of romance in your voice.
Your college observations are remarkable.
If ever I had time for romance, if ever my heart could reach out to another.
Don't stop.
Alice,
Sherlock.
Alice,
Oh, Mr.
Do forgive me.
you are
Maggie Baskerville. My brother, Sir Henry Baskerville.
niece and nephew of the murdered Sir Charles Baskerville?
Yes.
I know the case.
Only this morning my brother received letters warning that he will die at the fate of a gigantic ghost town.
Not more letters.
Downstairs, Miss Baskerville. There's no time to lose.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Thank you.
Goodbye, Alice. Think of me as one of the stately homes of England. Fascinating to visit, impossible to live in. Watson, hurry along. Watson, the game afoot.
I shall never forget you, Sherlock Holmes.